So I'm filming this video today out of sheer frustration, really. We have so many clients coming to us after they've received a really poor HR service from some larger providers. And I'm really baffled at how this just kind of keeps on continuing, and we just seem to be getting the same scenario over and over again. So I wanted to film a very short video just to give you some tips if you are thinking of outsourcing your HR. And I guess that these tips could really apply if you're thinking of outsourcing anything. But for me, it's really about people being able to get the best from a service, not tarring us all with the same brush, and really understanding what you're getting from your outsourced HR provider. So first of all, I would say ask them if you can trial the service. If the answer is no, that would be a red flag to me. If you can't at least trial and find out what you're going to be getting, what kind of a service you will be receiving, I would be asking questions of the provider. The second thing I would ask is, how long is the contract? A lot of people probably watching this are tied into a 5-year contract with some large provider. And I would question, why does it need to be so long? Why do you need to be tied in for 5 years? So really, if you know that a HR provider is really worth their salt, they will be tying you in for a lot less. So at Nectar HR, we do monthly rolling contracts, and you just have to give us 4 weeks notice if you don't need our services anymore. But normally we'll be telling you that you don't need us anymore, because we've got you to a position where you're comfortable and where you need to be. I would really question why you need to be in a 5-year contract with anybody. It's different if you roll that over and it's out of choice and it's because of the way the projects are going or the way the work is. But to sign up straight away when you haven't even used the service is questionable. So I would really steer away from long-term contracts. The next thing you want to know is, how long is the notice period? So with some of these long-term contracts, if you don't give the notice at a very, very specific time in this kind of 12-page, 15-page document, very legal document where it's all noted down, you're then automatically rolled over for another 5 years, for example. Really, really poor practice, and it's not what you or your business probably needs at that time. So find out when your notice period is, and can you terminate early? So like I said, with us, you just have to give us 4 weeks notice. You're on a monthly rolling contract. Do they work flexibly? So do they offer you different ways to work with them, or is it a one-size-fits-all? If it is a one-size-fits-all, again, I would question it. Every business is different. Every industry is different. The size of your business depends on the needs, but also what's going on in your business. You might have a restructure, so you might need a bit more work. You might have all your HR pretty much sorted and you just need a couple of hours a month, for example. So why would you sign up to a one-size-fits-all? So really, you need to be asking, the way that we work. So we do hourly rates, we do projects, we do retainers, but even our retainers, again, are just monthly rolling. And if you don't use all of your hours in 1 month, you can roll over a certain percentage of them for up to 3 months to allow you to bank some of that time, so that when you do need us, you've already paid for the service in advance. So are they allowing you that flexibility? Are you able to do that? The next thing is, do they know your industry? For example, if you're in health and social care, do they know about CQC? Do they know about the regulations? And in depth. So not just, oh yes, you have a regulator or you have an audit every so often, but do they know what it actually means to be sitting down with that inspector or that auditor and providing the information that they need? Do they know how you need to be holding it? Do they understand your job roles? Do they understand the market? Do they understand gaps? Perhaps you've got some skills gaps in your industry that you need to fill. Do they understand that? Do they understand really your industry in detail, the issues that you're facing as an organisation, and are they able to help you, support you through that? Because if not, why would you really be signing up with them? Now, a lot of people might say, oh, but we're with lots of people in your industry, but your business is always unique, regardless of overall industry. So do they understand exactly what it means for your business and what your challenges are? It would also be useful to run a couple of scenarios past them and ask them how they would deal with it. Just so, first of all, you know that they know what they are talking about. But second of all, are you just ringing up a call centre and having to deal with somebody different every time and being given a case reference number? Or are you actually going to speak to somebody that you know, who knows you, who knows your line managers, who knows your employees, And are they giving you advice like employer, employee, or are they really personalising that advice for the scenario that you've got in your business at that time that you need help with? Also ask them, are they just a one size fits all? Usually with the larger providers, they tend to give out very generic contracts of employment, very generic policies and procedures. They don't differentiate for different levels of management, for different skill sets, for different roles. You really need to be able to differentiate, because you might have something in a management or a senior manager contract that you wouldn't have in an admin role. Are they able to support you with that? And is the information that they're going to provide you really going to be fit for purpose? So I really would be focusing on how generic the advice is. Now we have a lot of, there are a number of industries that all think that they've signed up to a certain provider or two and that they're covered, they've got contracts, they've got policies. But when a scenario then presents itself and they need some advice, the issue is that they're not getting the advice that they need, or that the contracts and the policies aren't actually fit for purpose. They're not allowing them to engage with the employee appropriately. So you really need to think about this, because the day that you're given those contracts and those policies and those processes, for example, might not necessarily be the day that you need to use them. But in, say, 12 months' time or 3 years down the line, you might need to refer to something in that contract of employment, or you might need to pick up that disciplinary procedure and utilise it. And does it really help you? Does it understand your business, and is it helping you to understand what you need to do going forward? So those are some tips from me about what to look for when you are outsourcing your HR in particular, but I guess it could apply if you are outsourcing a particular function or a particular role. I hope you found it useful.